Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I was sort of debating what to do this week because I know that Valentine's Day is on Thursday. Also, side note, sorry if the lighting keeps changing. Today is one of those days where I cannot decide whether it wants to be sunny or cloudy, so it might change throughout the video, but just bear with me. Anyway, so like I was saying, I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do. I thought about maybe doing a tutorial like I've done in years past of like, you know, Valentine's Day tutorial, date night, sort of that thing. But I thought about it and there are so many tutorials out there, so there's so many good ones to choose from that you guys can check out. And a different spin, which I thought was equally as important, is sort of like a self-love, what I do to take care of myself video. So I wanted to share with you guys my routine on days where I have a little bit of extra time to take care of myself, a little bit more energy, all of that good stuff, and what I do to really pamper myself and yeah, just like do some self-love, self-care. So if you guys want to see a tutorial, go check those out. Like I said, there's so many good ones out there. Hopefully this will just be a different spin, something a little bit new. It's kind of like a skincare routine as well, and I know you guys love those videos, so hopefully you will enjoy. So I try and do this routine as frequently as I can, but usually it comes down to about like once or twice a week, and it's usually always at night, although I am filming this during the day, so I'm sort of cheating. But usually before I go to bed, the first thing that I do is just remove all of my makeup, all of the dirt that is off my face for the day, and I really take time to cleanse my skin before I hop in the shower, and that way the steam from the shower can really penetrate my skin and open my pores, and instead of like all this like weird gunk going into my pores, it's like a very clean slate. So the first product that I always use is this One Love Balm. Now this is the Skin Saver Balm. This is a new formulation that I'm super lucky to be testing out. I absolutely love the new formulation. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to you guys more about it in a future date, and I can tell you like why I really like it and what's different. I'm just waiting to hear back from the brand right now about some of those details. But I always start off with this balm. I just kind of massage it onto my face and take the time to do that, and then remove it with a warm washcloth. Now, because I actually didn't have any makeup on before, no SPF, nothing, when I was actually filming this video, I just used the balm, and that's plenty to get my skin nice and squeaky clean. But if I did have makeup on, or say I'm having a breakout or something, I might do an extra cleanse. And so for me, that means using one of two products, either the Osea Ocean Cleanser or the Tata Harper Purifying Cleanser. More on like an everyday basis, I'll use this Ocean Cleanser to really get off my makeup and really clean my skin. But if I'm having breakouts, then I use this Purifying Cleanser, which I also really enjoy. I've talked about this previously. So once my skin is nice and clean, it's almost time for me to hop in the shower. I do one other prep step, which is dry brushing. Now I dry brush my whole body. I start from my feet, obviously, and just do upward motions towards my heart. And then when you get onto your chest area, you do figure 8 motions kind of across your chest. I love dry brushing for a lot of reasons. One, because I have dry, kind of flaky skin in the wintertime, so this does a really good job of just like getting that off. And I especially like dry brushing in the morning because it's really invigorating, wakes you up. It's great for circulation, good for lymphatic drainage, all of that good stuff. So if I can, I like to take the extra time to do dry brushing. Now when I'm actually in the shower for an added exfoliation, especially if I'm gonna shave my legs or something like that, I like using this ginger exfoliating scrub from Living Libations. This is a really interesting scrub. It has pumice actually in it, which makes it obviously highly exfoliating, and it's a really creamy formula, so it doesn't feel like drying on your skin. It doesn't feel scratchy. It's a very soft exfoliator, and I really enjoy using this before I shave. It just means that the shave will last a little bit longer and my skin feels softer, so I really like that. I also will do this all over my body if I'm having like any flakiness or I'm just feeling kind of drab and I want to get that dead skin off of my body. Then I'll use this even like on my arms, on my chest, everything like that, and I really, really enjoy it. In the shower, I do what normal people do. I shampoo my hair, I wash my body, I shave, all of that good stuff. So I'm just gonna fast forward through that and not, you know, share all the products that I'm using in that. But when I get out of the shower, I go ahead and I dry off, I pat dry, and I put my hair into an Aquis. Is it Aquis or Aqua? I don't know. Aquis towel wrap that you kind of like position on your head and you secure in the back with a button, and that way your hair is up in a towel and off of your face. And then I put on a robe, and for me, for whatever reason, like putting on a robe after a shower feels very luxurious. I tend to run pretty cold, so I need a little something. I can't just like walk around in a towel. I'll be chilly and feel too damp. So I like putting on a dry robe, and it's just like an added little luxury. And then I go straight into moisturizing my body. So right now I've actually been using the Wyleta Skin Food Body Butter, which is one of their new products. Now I really like this. The scent is wonderful. The only thing is I'm actually going through it quite quickly, and I don't know if that's just because I have very dry skin, so I use a decent amount of this, but I'm definitely noticing that I'm going through this very quickly. It's not as thick as the Skin Food, so it's a lot easier to rub in, but it still has all of those great ingredients. I definitely repurchase it. I just kind of wish it came in a bigger tub, honestly. But yeah, so I always moisturize my skin, and this just helps me to feel hydrated. It helps my skin from getting dehydrated. It's just like a protective layer that I like to sleep in. I really liked the Aaliyah body butter as well. That for me was honestly more moisturizing than this, just because you feel like you have this like second skin layer on. Just super hydrating, like kind of like oily and really wonderful to sleep in. But I also really enjoyed this one. So I put that all over my body, just like I said, to keep my skin as hydrated as possible, because during the winter time, in the heat, everything, I get very dry skin. So I'm sort of like paranoid. I always want to make sure that I'm as hydrated as possible. And part of that is also hydrating my skin. So I'll go ahead and I'll put on some lip balm before I do anything else, just to make sure that I've taken care of that part of my face, which I feel like a lot of people neglect because you kind of forget. Because unless you have very dry lips, you sort of forget that you need to be taking care of the skin as well. So I put on this Vis Viva Honey and Coconut Lip Balm. I really enjoy it. It's not even that it's very thick, it's just feels very nourishing and sort of like encases your lips, and it just feels good. It lasts for a long time on your lips, and I really like this. And so the next thing that I like to do for my skin is give it a little special treat. So I am not someone who has the time to do a mask all the time at night. I probably only do it like once or twice a week, but I indulge in those moments, and I love those moments of being able to give my skin something extra and do a mask. So I've been sort of going between a couple of masks right now. Honestly, they're both samples. I've either been using the Josh Rosebrook cacao or cocoa antioxidant mask, or the Josh Rosebrook hydrating mask. Like I said, both are samples, but I think what's wonderful about his products are a little go a long way. So even samples last for a really long time. Because I have my hair in that towel wrap, that means that I can actually put on my mask and let my hair air dry, or kind of dry in that towel a little bit longer, and everything's out of my face while I'm doing that mask. So today I decided to use the Josh Rosebrook hydrating mask. So I just apply a little bit, like a pea-sized amount, all over my face, and then I'm actually going to be using a facial massage tool. So I'm going to be using the Suzanne Kaufman facial massage tool. It just makes facial massage really easy. It's like you just hold it and it massages your face for you, instead of having to do kind of a longer process. So it's very quick. I don't think it's as wonderful as taking the time to do a gua sha treatment or jade rolling or anything like that, but it's just a quick way to get a facial massage in, and it feels especially good when you have a bit of a slippery product on your face. It allows the device to move a little bit smoother, which is great. You're not dragging at your skin so much. So if I don't end up doing a mask, usually what I'll do is I'll do a more intensive facial massage. So I'll do something like gua sha or jade rolling, which I've done a video on both of those, so you guys can check them out. But I do keep them in my little mini fridge just to keep the tools nice and cool, so that when I'm using it, I'm getting that added benefit of depuffing, deswelling, all of that because of the cold. So like I said, I use that Suzanne Kaufman device or tool to just really work on my jaw area, which tends to get really tight, a little bit up here, although you can't go too high with it. I do some on my neck, and then a little bit of lymphatic drainage just down my neck, and then as a final step, I just sort of like tap the end around my face, which is what you're supposed to do, to just do some superficial plumping, get the circulation moving, all of that good stuff. After I've done that mask, and depending on the mask, for example, this one's a hydrating mask, so I just kind of keep it on all night, but I'll either wipe off the mask and start on my hair, or I will keep on the mask and still start on my hair. What I like to do if I have a little extra time is actually blow dry my hair, and that's because by nature I have a sort of curly, wavy, straight hair. It's not one style in particular, it's like every possible style in different pieces of my hair. So usually what I do is I braid my hair at night, which sort of controls my hair and makes it just like nice waves. But if I have the time, it's really nice to blow dry it at least partially and then braid it, because then I get some added smoothness and shine to it. What I do to protect my hair before blow drying is I actually apply a little bit of this Rawa leave-in treatment. Now this is a leave-in conditioner, but it also acts as a heat protector, which is really wonderful. Now a little bit goes a long way with this product. I've honestly had it for months and I haven't even made a dent in it. I love the smell of it, but I also really love Palo Santo, so it's up to you whether or not you will like the smell of this, but I really do. So I apply just a little bit to the ends of my hair and kind of work that in before I go through and I brush it before I blow dry. Now I am not someone who's particularly good with hair. Like I wear my hair either in a ponytail or a bun or a braid, and that's as fancy as I get. And so especially with blow drying, I don't have a special technique down. All I can say is that I break my hair into sections and I try and make sure the blow dryer is always pointing downwards instead of like upwards, because I think that like breaks the hair ends or something like that and creates more frizz. So I always try and position it downwards. Try not to use super high heat, and what I actually do is I just go around my head pretty quickly and I don't even dry it all the way. I let it air dry a little bit afterwards, and that way it reduces the amount of time that I have heat on my hair, and it gives me a little bit of play when I actually go in and braid it before bed to make those waves, and then it dries in that wave format instead of just being like very straight. So once my hair is done, really the only thing that I have left to do is to finish up my skincare routine, and that can mean a variety of things depending on what I need that night. It can be quite a long skincare routine with a lot of different products, or it can be quite short. And luckily today, because I had that hydrating mask on from Josh Rosebrook, I could honestly just leave it on as is, or I can add a couple of things to just amp everything up. So I decided to just spray a little bit of the Josh Rosebrook Hydration Accelerator on my face, and then I put a little bit of a salve that I actually made myself, just a little bit underneath my eyes, and that way I'm keeping that skin nice and hydrated too. As a final step, I try to remember to do this every night, but honestly I do it more on nights where I'm actually paying attention and like really pampering myself, and that's moisturizing my hands. Your hands take such a beating all through the day. How many times we wash them with really like abrasive and drying soaps. You know, you're obviously using your hands a lot throughout the day, so it's nice to take some time and use like a very thick hand cream. I use the Wyleta Skin Food, and really massage it into your hands. I try and spend like 3 to 5 minutes on each hand, just kind of rubbing it in. I also try and rub in some of the Wyleta Skin Food around my cuticle just to make sure that that area stays nice and hydrated, and then my hands feel nice and soft when I wake up the next morning. So that's quite an intensive routine for me. It's a lot of products and it feels like it takes a decent amount of time, but honestly when I'm doing it, the time flies by. It's kind of a funny thing. I mean, I'm someone who really struggles with like meditating and quieting my mind, and during the time when I'm actually doing this routine, my mind is super quiet and like I don't need to listen to music, I don't need to listen to a podcast. I'm very happy just doing whatever I'm doing and focusing on that and thinking of nothing else. So it's sort of a wonderful routine for me. Now this is something that you could do before Valentine's Day, the night before, and wake up and feel like, you know, very pampered and ready to go on your date or whatever you're doing. Or this is something that you can do Valentine's Day night just to give yourself a little extra love and pay attention to yourself and what you need and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I realize it's a little something different, but it's kind of still on theme, I think. I think taking care of yourself and self-love is just as important as being loved by someone else. So hopefully this gives you guys an excuse to treat yourself and pamper yourself. All right, you guys, I'm wishing you a happy Valentine's Day, a wonderful rest of your week. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below for videos always featuring clean green beauty. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.